Namaste everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hrishikesh and I'm a Vedic astrologer. And today we are going to study a very serious topic, which you see on your screens, the Kalasarpa Yoga, a very important topic in Jyotish. And this yoga has a power to scare anyone and make them run around for remedies and relief all over the place if they have it in their charts. Now, why is this yoga considered so terrible? And why does it create a chaotic life for the person who has it? So let us go to the event of Samudra Manthan. Okay. During the Samudra Manthan, the Devas were on one side, the Asuras were on one side. Okay. And when the nectar was being distributed to the Devtas first, the Soma, Rahu saw through the tactics of the Devta and understood that the Asuras are not getting any of that Soma or nectar. And so the desire to get that nectar anyhow, he disguised himself as a Devta and went over to the side of the Devta, onto the side of the Devas. So Rahu Maharaj disguised himself as a Deva because his strongest desire was to get the Soma, the nectar. The luminary sun and moon saw through it, and eventually, hence, Vishnu, with his Sudarshana Chakra, divided Rahu into two, the head, which is Rahu, the body, which is Ketu. And it's very important to understand this event if you have the Kalasarpa Yoga in your chart. Because what does it say? What does this event tell us? That when a person has a Kalasarpa Yoga in his or her chart, that person is born with one very strong desire, and a person will go to any lengths to fulfill it. Okay. And to fulfill that, that person will perform such karmas that can put the people around him, the society around him in trouble, as well, himself in trouble as well. Because now there are no boundaries, there are no rules. There is no logical, rational thinking as to what is good, what is right, what is wrong, what is evil. The head, the mana, is working in a way where this is what I want, and I'll do anything to get it. Now, it also makes the person a very high achiever. Such a yoga has a power to take the person from the ground, zero, from nothing, to the top, to everything. And we'll see that. I have some example charts in this presentation to show you that. But also, at times, this yoga can put the person under terrible circumstances. A life of struggle, sorrow, pain, suffering from the society, from people around him, which eventually transforms the person, you know, into an individual who has coldness, who has bitterness, who resorts to evil tendencies to get what they want because they're not getting it in a nice way from the world, the society. And all the pain that they receive, they can give it back. So the Kalasarpa Yoga has a power to transform the person into a character, into an individual which is evil, which is not right for the society, and also has a power to put the life of that person into utter chaos. A story of painful events, one by one, all throughout life. The person goes through many painful events, one after the other. And at times, I've seen some people really losing hope. that anything good can happen in this life. They become bitter, they become sad, their behavior towards the society changes completely. They become cold, they become harsh. So the energy of this yoga is very powerful. So let us understand in today's interesting video on Kalasarpa Yoga, let us understand first, what is Kalasarpa Yoga? Are there any other kinds of Kalasarpa Yoga? Okay. So when we look at our charts, we're not mistaken. Probably we do not have the Kalasarpa Yoga, which we were thinking it is there. So you'll understand what is Kalasarpa Yoga, how can you identify one, and what is not considered as a Kalasarpa Yoga, and what are the other yogas. What are the other Sarpa yogas that are equally important? We'll study that in today's video. And before we begin that, I pay my respects to my guru, to all the gurus, and Shri Ganesh, so that the right knowledge flows through me to all of you. All right, let us begin. Sarpa yogas. Now, different type of Sarpa yogas. First, we'll understand what is Kala Sarpa Yoga. Okay. There are 7 weekday planets and 2 nodes. The nodes are Rahu and Ketu, and the 7 weekday planets are Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. And the nodes are Rahu and Ketu. Now, when these 7 weekday planets are placed between the nodes, okay, all the 7 weekday planets between the nodes, it is known as a Kala Yoga, Kala Sarpa Yoga. But now, when will we call it a Kala Sarpa Yoga? Because there are 2 types. One is the Kala Sarpa and one is the Kala Amrita Yoga. So first, let us understand what is Kala Sarpa Yoga. Where all the 7 weekday planets are placed between the nodes, and Rahu is leading the entire pack, is known as Kala Sarpa Yoga. So, if you put your finger in your chart on Ketu, and if you move zodiacally, and if all the 7 weekday planets are after Ketu and before Rahu, and Rahu is leading the front, it is Kala Sarpa Yoga. Okay. Don't worry if you've got confused. I have example charts on the next slides. You'll come to know there more with more clarity. Okay. So this is a Kala Sarpa Yoga. And if you have this yoga, okay, understand that all these yogas, okay, they have a break-in point. Either they break naturally, there are certain rules for it, much before time, or by activation of the planets that are breaking this yoga. But let us first understand till when will this yoga keep giving its effects. First of all, any serious yoga like this, you have to understand that there is no one puja, one ritual, or one magic pill that can take care of it. If you think like that, you're being fooled. You have to understand these yogas, and the remedies for these yogas have to be done day in, day out, throughout your life. It has to be a part of your lifestyle. Because we are talking about the nodes, and the nodes eclipse the luminaries, the sun and the moon. So you are practically, if you say, under an eclipse by the nodes. So whenever the Kala Sarpa yogas or the Sarpa yogas are present in the chart, the entire chart is dictated by them. Your entire life will be in control of this yoga. And that yoga will dictate how your life will pan out. What will you get? What will you not get? So at times it becomes very terrible time for a person to live on this planet, to live on this plane, on this Mrityu Loka, if they have such a yoga. Because you're in the bondage of the nodes. And to fulfill The goal of the yoga, your life will be thrown into chaos. So if you have the Kala Sarpa yoga, okay, if a person has a Kala Sarpa yoga, such a person will see a lot of sufferings and pain, troubles and struggles up till the age of 45. Okay. So half of your life has gone by. And when it ends at 45, when it breaks at 45, if the yogas are not beneficial for you, for your chart, the person can see, you know, not a much favorable time after that as well. Okay. Now we'll understand what is the Kala Amrita Yoga. When the 7 weekday planets are placed between the nodes and Ketu is leading the pack. So if you put your finger on Rahu and you move zodiacally, and all the 7 planets are between Rahu and Ketu leading the front, it is a Kala Amrita Yoga. And up till the age of 43, life will be directionless. Life will be of suffering, pain, struggle, sorrows. Okay. But because Ketu is leading the front, and Ketu being a Mokshakarak planet, a planet that gives you higher spirituality, it can make a person very spiritual, either after 43 or during the yoga, up till 43 or after 43. After it breaks, can make a person very spiritual, can give, such a yoga can give you the highest knowledge of spirituality. Depending how and when the yoga is breaking, how the yoga is placed in your chart, from which house this yoga is starting and which house this yoga is ending is very important. Are there any planets that are conjoining the nodes? Now, these planets becomes very important because they are with the nodes at the beginning and the end. Okay, so if you have the Kala Sarpa yoga, the Kala Amrita yoga, to understand that up till the mid-40s, your life will be very different from what a normal person goes through in their life. Okay. So for those who have this, so for those of you who have the Kala Sarpa yoga or the Kala Amrita yoga, it is very important to do remedies, to seek Vedic remedies. Now, in this video, in the end, I'll give you the remedies, the standard remedies for the Kala Sarpa yogas and the Kala Amrita yogas, the Sarpa yogas basically, which you can do and you'll find relief in life. You'll find some direction in life. And it's very important for you to do these remedies every day. Okay. Now, moving on. What is Sarpa yoga? Okay. So when minimum 3 malefic planets or more than 3 malefic planets are placed in the Kendra houses, the first house, the first house, the first house, the fourth house, the seventh house, and the 10th house. Okay. So in the Kendra sthanas, in the quadrants, when there are 3 or more malefic planets, it is a Sarpa yoga. Again, a bondage. Now, when the Kendras have malefic planets, okay, because Kendras are Vishnu sthanas, and Vishnu looks after your sustenance. So the sustenance can come into trouble. Your relationship with the world, the society, family, work can come into trouble. Your identity, because Lagna ascendant is there, caught in the bondage of the nodes or the malefic planets. So the identity can suffer problems. But also it is seen that when there are malefic planets in the Kendrasthanas, in the Kali Yuga, it can also take you to great heights. Okay. Nevertheless, when you have such a yoga, you have to do serious Vedic remedies the Kalasarpa yoga, the amrita yoga, or the Sarpa yoga. Okay. Now, there is one more yoga which is very important, which is known as the Malika yoga. Now, what is Malika yoga? When in your chart, minimum 4 signs have like a chain, planets in them. Minimum 4 signs, minimum 4 houses have a chain of planets in them. It is known as the Malika yoga. Now, depending which planets are creating this chain, which planets are in the chain, which planets are beginning, at the beginning of the Malika yoga, which planets are at the ending of the Malika yoga, that will tell us whether it is a auspicious Malika yoga or an inauspicious Malika yoga. All right. How will it control your life? Because see, when you have such yogas in your chart, you have to understand they have the central power of commanding how your life is going to be. They will decide how your life runs. What will you get? What will you not get again? So the first thing you have to do is look at these yogas, do their remedies. So first, you come out from the bondage of these yogas. Okay. Otherwise, these yogas have the power to dictate your entire life. Right. So let us, with examples, now understand all these different yogas. First, we'll talk about the Malika yoga. Now, on the left side is a chart of former Prime Minister of India, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. And you see, okay, between Rahu and Ketu, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weekday planets. So this is not a Kala yoga, not a Kala Sarpa or a Kala Amrita yoga. Okay. So now, which other yoga is there in the chart? So we'll look here at Saturn and we see, okay, there is a chain of planets that is forming like a train in 4 consecutive signs. Okay. What did I say? Minimum 4 signs should be occupied by planets. Okay, to classify as a Malika yoga. So this Malika yoga in the chart of Rajiv Gandhi begins with Saturn and ends with Mars, Mangala. Okay, what is Mangala? Explosion, fire. Assassination, murder. Okay. So how did Mr. Rajiv Gandhi die? And which direction does Mars given? South. Mars is also related to the planet. Mars is also related to the animal tiger. So you join all the dots. Go and read how Mr. Rajiv Gandhi met his end. In which sign is Mars placed in? The sign of Virgo, Kanya. Kanya Rashi. Kanya in India, in Hindi, in Vedic terms, Kanya means a young girl. Mars ruling the south direction of Yama. So did Mr. Rajiv Gandhi go towards the southern part of India? See, how is this starting? How is it ending? It's a malefic Malika yoga because it is governed by 2 malefics, Saturn and Mars. And when Saturn and Mars combine, it is known as the Yama yoga. Okay. So here in the chart, the Malika yoga is happening. On the right is the legendary eternal singer, Shilta Mangeshkar. Okay. And if you look at a chart, between Rahu and Ketu, again, 6 planets are there, the 6 weekday planets. Saturn is outside of the chain. So this is not a Kalasarpa yoga or a Kalamrita yoga. But there is a Malika yoga which is happening in a chart. We look at moon, and from moon, all the 4 signs are occupied by planets. So from moon to Mercury, Mars, Ketu, this Malika yoga is forming. Okay, it's ending in the 6th house. Now, 6th house, in very simple terms, 6th house is the house of celibacy. So in a way, this yoga forced celibacy on her. I'm not saying she did not have any relationships, but she was forced to live alone, without a partner, without a husband in her life, without love in her life. Okay? Because the 6th house is also the Maraka to the 5th house. So the 5th house is of love. Children. Did she have any children? No. Did she have a lover in her life that became a partner, a soulmate? No. Special sending with Mars. Okay. Mars is also the Karaka of celibacy. See how this yoga has dictated her personal life. Imagine, when we look at a person from the outside, we look at, oh, such a successful big singer. Look at her voices. Nobody can sing like her till now, and never will be. But in one of her interviews, she mentioned very sadly that if she has an opportunity at one more life, she will not become Lata Mangeshkar again. She herself said that. So imagine the sufferings that she has gone through internally as a person, in her personal life, in her private life, that has made her say this statement. Okay? Graha Malika Yoga, very powerful. Sarpa Yoga, this is a chart of the legendary actor Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Okay? We look at Rahu and Ketu. No, there is no chain of planets that is happening, but wait. These are the Kendra houses, and are the three malefic, minimum three malefic planets? Okay, let us count. Ketu, yes, malefic. Saturn, yes, malefic. Rahu, yes, malefic. So the Kendra houses are occupied by minimum three malefic planets. So this is a Sarpa Yoga. At the same time, this is a very unusual chart. This is a very unusual chart. There's a Graha Malika Yoga also happening in the chart. If you look at Jupiter, and from Jupiter to Moon, all the four signs of planets in them. So this is a Graha Malika Yoga as well happening here. It starts from exalted Jupiter to Moon. It's a Gajakesari Yoga. How is Mr. Bachchan doing right now? Super. Excellent. He's enjoying the Raja Yoga. But yes, the Sarpa Yoga also made him go through immense suffering, delays, and problems in his initial years. Also, as a struggling actor in Bollywood, he saw his fair share of trouble. Okay? Now we come to the Kalasarpa and the amrita yogas. Let us understand how they are forming. On the left side is a chart of former Prime Minister of India, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, and if we look, all the 7 weekday planets are placed between the nodes Rahu and Ketu. Okay, we count from Moon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jupiter is placed with Ketu, so Jupiter becomes very important over here. Okay. Now, this Kala Yoga is happening from Rahu to Ketu. There are no planets between Ketu to Rahu. So it is not Rahu who is leading this. It is Ketu who is leading this pack. If you move zodiacally from Rahu, it's Ketu who is in the front. So this is a Kala Amrita Yoga. But wait a second. Let us go back. What did I say? It can make a person very spiritual. That person can move towards higher spirituality. But this individual went for power, for aristocracy. He had a sudden fondness for married women. So his desire was moving towards bhoga, towards materialism, not towards spirituality. So to understand in the Kalasarpa or the Kalamrita Yoga, okay, generally we say Rahu gives you material desires, bhoga tendencies. Ketu will give you spiritual desires, spirituality. But in an individual chart, it can change. For some, Ketu can give spiritual. For some, Ketu can give bhoga desires or material desires, and Rahu can give you spirituality. Highest knowledge of spirituality can come from Rahu as well. So the nodes have to be carefully studied in the person's chart and different vargas of that person's chart to come to the conclusion who is given spirituality. Rahu or Ketu. Okay. Here, the person's mana, the ascendant also becomes very important. Where does the mind want to go? So do not jump to conclusions in Jyotish, is what I'm trying to say. If you see a Kaal Amrita Yoga, you cannot say, oh, this person will become very spiritual. Okay, it can something completely opposite can also happen. I have a chart that person has gone completely the opposite way. I have it in the upcoming slides. I'll show it to you. So do not jump to conclusions in Jyotish. My advice is if whichever yoga you have from Kala Sarpa or Kala Amrita yoga, make sure that you do the remedies, okay, and try to understand what are your desires, where do you want to go in life. You'll come to know then what is happening in your chart. Okay. On the right is the chart of business tycoon Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani. All right. And if we see in a chart, all the 7 weekday planets are placed between the nodes. From Rahu to Ketu, there are no planets. That means this is not a Kala Amrita yoga. From Ketu to Rahu, all the 7 planets are placed in between. So this is a Kalasarpa yoga. Okay. With Ketu, we have Mars, and with Rahu, there's no planets with the node Rahu. Okay. Third house is the house of entrepreneurial ability, the house of Parakrama, courage. So this person came from a very small village in the state of Gujarat in India. All right. Okay. And he had this desire, this strong, strong desire, which he could not deny, to become very big in life, to make, to live a life that is grand, that is big. He wanted the best in life. And this desire took him on a journey from nothing to everything. Now, because it's a Kalasarpa yoga, the nodes are controlling the mana, the mind, the soul, the body, the thoughts, the karmas. Okay. And I said it gives you criminal tendencies. Now, when I say that, evil tendencies, what do I mean? Okay. We do not have to look at it in a general way always. Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani found ways to get done what he wanted to get done through influencing people in any way possible. He made sure that nothing came in between him and his goal and his desire. And whoever came in between was dealt appropriately. This is what the nodes are given him. Kalasarpa Yoga has given him the ability to do that. Okay, now moving on. This is a chart of a very popular stockbroker, Mr. Harshad Mehta. Okay, he has a web series after him as well. For those of you who have not seen it or not familiar with this person, some of you I know are understand. I understand that you are viewers from other countries, not from India. So you can Google Harshad Mehta to understand more about this person. Okay, this is a chart of Harshad Mehta, and we look here. All the 7 planets are placed between Ketu to Rahu, not from Rahu to Ketu. So this is not a Kala Amrita yoga. This is a Kala Sarpa yoga happening over here. Okay, now Mars is with Rahu, so it is ending with Rahu and Mars. It is starting with Ketu, Mercury, Jupiter. This person completely changed how stock markets work. He made the masses who were not, actively trading, start trading in the stock markets. He transformed the way stock markets were looked at. He created disruption. All right. From nothing, he rose to the top. And then he had a fall. See, this yoga gives you a very strong desire. And you will do anything to reach there, irrespective of the consequences. You will not think about the consequences. 10 people will come up to you and tell you, this is all right, leave it, forget it. But no, you will not listen. Harshad Mehta did not listen. And what was the end? There's a malefic planet with Rahu, Mars. Mars does not like Rahu. Okay. It's in the fourth house. What happened to him? Mars is the eighth lord, the third lord. All right. What happened to him? When did he die? How did he die? Some say heart attack, heart, chest, seen from the fourth house. But Rahu is there, so there's a mystery. There's something hidden in his death, which is not known by people. Okay. Who broke his story to the world? Somebody whose name starts from Sa, Su. That sound? Check it up. Probably that letter or that sound comes from Kumbh Rashi, Aquarius. The sixth lord is Rahu, the sixth house is Aquarius of enemies. Okay. The first lord is Rahu. The second lord is Saturn, going to his Dhanabhava. Rahu having an aspect on the Dhanesh, the second lord of wealth, Venus. 12th house hidden. So somebody, Rahu is research. Somebody was into research, journalism, researched and broke a story of how he sourced his wealth. Very interesting when all the points join. Okay. So yes, a person with a lot of intelligence, Jupiter, Mercury. Ending was bad. Mars again. Did he went against the prime minister at that time? By any chance, did that prime minister have a strong connection with the planet Mars? From Mars, we see the deity Narsimha avatar of Vishnu. Was there any connection of Narsimha with the prime minister? Go and look it up. And now we come to the final example chart, where we have to understand the chart very carefully. All the planets are, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 with the nodes. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 3 between the nodes. So all the 7 weekday planets between the nodes from Rahu to Ketu. So Ketu is leading the front. So Kala Amrita Yoga. So this person should become extremely spiritual. But Mr. Bundy here was a murderer, rapist, and a serial killer. I don't want to talk about how he did his crimes against women, but you should go and read his Wikipedia page. Okay, you'll get all the gory details out there. I don't want to say it out here on the video. Now, why? See, now here comes the real knowledge of Jyotish. The knowledge that comes only from a guru to Shishya. Okay? Look at Moon. If you check this date that he's born on, okay, the tithi on that day is Shukla Pratipada. Just a day after Amavasya, after no moon. So this moon has no bala, no strength, no light, and it's debilitated. Okay? With the malefics Mars, Ketu, and a Krura planet, Surya. And when we talk about benefics, Mercury is more on the neutral side. Mercury will sway to whatever the majority is. Here, the majority is malefic. So Mercury is also an Asura planet. So Mercury becomes, in a way, malefic as well with this group here. Okay. Now understand very carefully. I'm not trying to justify the acts of this person. It's the fourth house. That's where your heart is. Okay. It's where Shuddhi is seen from. This person does not have Shuddhi. There are malefics in the place of heart. Heart is not caring, not nice, not good. It's full of pain, suffering, anger, trauma. Look at how the childhood. We see the childhood from the fourth house. If you have a malefic, heavy malefic presence in the fourth house, you'll have a very traumatic childhood, a dysfunctional family while growing up properly, a painful childhood. Look at his childhood. You know, he was born out of a wedlock. His mother was unwed when he was born. There is no trace of his biological father. He has no idea who his father is. And he was bullied for this by the society while he was growing up as a child. As a child, he had no identity of where his home was, where his father was. Look at his moon, debilitated with malefics. Mars, Ketu in the fourth house. Mars, Ketu, and Sun, you know, they show some weapons. Read about him on Wikipedia. There's an incident where he scares his mother's sister with knives at the age of 3 or 4. Mercury is related to books as well. He used to read books of that nature where crimes were committed against a woman, and he used to enjoy reading those books. He enjoyed doing animal cruelty as a child. It is said that he got pleasure out of, you know, doing cruelty to animals and people. He got pleasure out of pain from others by giving pain to others. This is a very deep psychological case. Okay. So look at the powers of a Jyotisha, you know. It's there in the chart. Earlier, kingdoms and people had royal astrologers, so generals, charts, and everything was studied, and preemptive, precautions were taken, steps were taken beforehand. So here, this person went out and did what he did. Look at the chart; it is saying that this will manifest for sure. Go read about his Wikipedia page. Screenshot this chart, keep it in the front, read about him, and join the dots. So these are terrible yogas. But at times I've seen people, just by the mention of these yogas in their chart, they get so scared that before even this yoga can do any harm to you, you yourself, with your attitude, with your mindset, damage your life. If you have this yoga, first of all, calm down. There's nothing to worry. There are remedies. The remedies for everything. But you have to understand it will take time for you. These are very powerful yogas. There's something you need to do for life. There are some changes you need to make in how you think and how you behave and how you perform in the society. It will take time for you to do that. So for those who are suffering from Sarpa yogas, Kalasarpa yogas, amrita yogas, there's one standard remedy that will help you. Now, see, there are two ways that remedies are done with such yogas. One on the individual chart, as to how the yoga is happening from which house to which house. All right, the remedies are performed. Relation of any benefits with the nodes. Okay, all these things are seen for perfect, accurate remedies. But the standard remedies always have to be done initially. So, what are the standard remedies? You need to worship, when you have this yogas, you need to worship these two deities, Goddess Durga and Vignaharta, Sri Ganesh, Ganapati. You have to worship them every day, morning, evening. Okay. I cannot give you mantras on this platform. Okay, mantras are supposed to be given individually. So you can search about their basic mantras, their prasiddha mantras that you can do. Okay, or any stotra or any hymn that you can find related to them, you can do. Okay. You can start doing the Panchopchara puja of this devtas, of these deities. All right, but you need to do this. Anyone who has this, they need to do this. Compulsory. Okay. So if you or your near dear ones or any of your friends have this yoga, tell them, worship Goddess Durga, worship Shri Ganesh. Their life will become stable. Their mana will become stable. With this, I end the video. Hari Om Tat Sat. If you were watching till here, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a part of my YouTube channel. Okay. And if the information you found here was valuable, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you soon. Hopefully, very soon, with another interesting video on Jyotish. Hari Om Tat Sat.